Oh, YTPC, Joshua Stewart smoking a pipe up north in the woods. I'm back, finally. Um, Been a busy weekend, and yesterday was Monday. It was like I was hungover, but I didn't have anything to drink for like a week prior, so couldn't have hardly been that. But anyway, got the son graduated and been so busy the last few days that I haven't had time to watch any videos or even have a pipe. I think the last pipe I had was on Friday. This is Tuesday, and for whatever reason, it felt like Monday to me today. Because, well, I went to work yesterday on Monday, but just like I say, I was feeling like I was hungover, even though I wasn't, and ended up I left work early, like around lunchtime, and just went home and went to bed. And basically, other than I was up for an hour or two around supper time, other than that, I was in bed until about 7:30, 8 o'clock this morning. So, feeling fine now and enjoy my first pipe since I think last Friday. It's I didn't realize it until I was just browsing through some of the subscriptions, and it's Tuesday. That means it's Codger and a corn cob and Tool Time Tuesday. And I got my codger and corn cob, but I forgot to grab a tool. Do I have anything interesting within arm's reach? Oh, I do actually. So we'll show that when the time is appropriate. But anyway, my corn cob. I've got the Missouri Meerschaum Legend that I broke in last week, and I had probably 3 or 4 bowls through it last week of different blends. They weren't all codgers, but I think it's well broken now. You don't get that intense corn cob like you do on the first bowl or two, even though we charred it. And for the codger, we've got another one of the Borkum Riffs. Black Cavendish. This one has a little bit of a reputation, at least Garrett at Smoke Snacks. When him and I were doing our blend swap, I requested a little bit of this stuff just because I wanted to see how bad it really is. He said that was one of the few that he's ever just totally disliked. So we'll see what I usually like the Black Cavendish heavy blends, like the was it Captain Black Dark? I like that. I think BCA is a heavy on the Black Cavendish. I like that. Now this one says only 50% Black Cavendish, which that's one thing interesting about these Borkum Riffs is they actually have they have the recipe on the. I don't know if I can get it open. It says Black Cavendish recipes consist of 50% Black Cavendish, carefully mixed with ripe Virginia. Flavor, a hint of prune and plum, which I do definitely get the prune plum in the bag note, tin note, whatever you want to call it. So anyway, we're going to try this out and see if it's as bad as Garrett says it is. I don't know, I'm hoping it's not that bad to me, but we'll see. So here it goes. Interesting. It's Nothing like the Captain Black Dark. Which I guess just going by the look of it, there's a lot more browns and yellows in the mixture than there is in Captain Black Dark. I don't know what to think. It seems to have a little bit more flavor than the Borkum Riff original. That just seemed kind of bland to me. Although I did have that, what was it, a little cold or getting over a cold or something when I tried that, so I probably didn't give it a totally fair try. Now, I'm almost getting a little bit of a Latakia English type thing to it, but that may be my fault because I may have had a little bit of Latakia English. I got my little valet tray, this little thing here that I picked up. I actually picked it up at the dollar store. I saw somebody else had a video about that you pick these things up at the dollar store. You can pour your tobacco out on here and you know, pull it out, or if you're blending a little bit, you can mix it up on here. And then it's, I don't know if you can see that, there's a little bit of a gap in here. You can actually get the tobacco to slide in the gap. It's got this little round thing. You can take that and just pour it right in your pipe. So I picked up one of these. It's handier than heck. But the problem is I may have left just a little bit of whatever the last thing I had on there, which was it? It was in English of some sort. I don't remember offhand what it was. I think I even made a video on it. Oh, it was oh no, I didn't make a video on that one. It was another one of the samples from Jesse. I did make a video of the shepherd's pie, but then there was another one that, so there might have been a couple of pieces of English blend on the top, which is skewing the flavor. Interesting. Yeah, I'm still getting just a little hint of like the English. So I must have left just a little bit of the English in that, my little valet thing, whatever you want to call it. So I shared a little bit about my boy at his graduation party on Sunday, and there's graduation parties for his class all weekend in town. And my wife works at the school, so she knows a lot of these kids. And then some of them are in activities of that with our kids and friends of our kids. I think on Saturday, I only went to 2 of them, but I think my wife went to 5 parties on Saturday. And there was a couple on Friday, and my sons, and several more on Sunday. Had a good turnout. Weather was threatening, but the rain, the worst of the rain, managed to stay away during the hours of the party. And just had the party in the the building that I'm in is basically a 3-stall garage, and I got 1 stall here that's my shop, and the other 2 stalls are just the garage. So and then there's a wall in between. They got separate heating systems and stuff. So we just had the party in the 2-stall garage part on the other side. Which of course isn't enough to hold a whole bunch of people if you get a really good turnout. So we set up a few canopies and tables and chairs outside, and say fortunately the weather wasn't too bad. It was windy, but so anyway. And like I said, then yesterday, Monday, I had to go to work right away. And just didn't feel so good. Just went in the morning and had a little bit of a, like I said, it was like a hangover. Only we don't drink a lot of alcohol, and we weren't serving any alcohol at the party. And it had probably been at least a week before the party since I'd had any alcohol, so it wasn't a hangover, but like I say, it sure felt like one. And it was just getting worse as the morning went on. So like I said, I just went home from work at about noon and slept the rest of the day. So I don't know if it was just from getting up early, going to bed late for the few days prior to that, just to try to get everything ready. Because normally just getting a 2-stall garage swept out and a couple tables set up isn't a big deal, but the problem is we use that whole 2 stalls for storage for stuff too, so we had to try to find homes for everything, and unfortunately a lot of it ended up in the shop here, so I got less room to work with than I had before. But we're far enough into this, I better do a little bit of tool time for Tool Time Tuesday, which is, I totally forgot about the tool time until after I started rolling here. So what we have is a tool that I keep handy by my, we'll call it my pipe smoking station here. Little side cutter. This is a, what is it, Excelite brand, I think. Yeah, something like that. Made in USA, which I try to get made in USA whenever I can. Pick this thing up, shoot, probably 15 years ago now. It was at a surplus tool store. And these were new old stock at the time when I picked it up. And they had a bunch of Diamond brand pliers and stuff like that were new old stock. Which, if you're familiar with Diamond, they're well, they were big into crescent wrenches, you know, in the 50s, 60s, 70s. I think even into the 80s. And I'm not sure when it was in the 80s or 90s that they went out of business, but Diamond Tool Company, it was Diamond Tool Company. They're actually a Minnesota-based company, I believe in Duluth. And say they made the crescent wrenches, like the channel lock type pliers, regular pliers, needle nose pliers, and I think the Accelite was a division for their more precision tools, like this little side cutter, dikes, nipper, whatever you want to call it. But you say, well, what do you have that for at your pipe smoking station? Well, up to now, I've been using the Dr. Grabo paper filters, and I found that in a lot of these Missouri Meerschaum cobs, those filters are just a little bit long. So I need to cut about 1/4 or 3/8 of an inch off the end in order for the filter to fit. But then I got thinking, if I got to cut that much off anyway, rather than just cutting off 1/4 inch or 3/8 inch off the end, why don't I just cut it in half? So that's what I've been doing for the last month or two. Is I've just been cutting my Dr. Grabo filters in half with this little, I don't know what the proper name for it is, a miniature side cutter, nippers, I'm not sure. But that's what I've been using it for. I got it right at my station here, and I cut my paper filters in half. So that way I can get, you know, two for one, so to speak. Although sometimes I'd get 2 or 3 bowls out of a full filter, but you know, one smoke and these half filters are pretty well used up. So economy wise, it's probably about a wash. But so going back to this Borkum Riff Black Cavendish. I'm not getting the English, so I must have had just a few pieces of English on the top of it when I poured it in from my little stainless steel valet thing from the dollar store. There's definitely a little bit more going on than there was with the Borkum Riff original. Is it great? No. But I don't really think it's that bad either. not biting too bad as long as I'm taking it easy. So that's behaving better than some of the other Borkum Riffs did. Yeah, I mean, sorry, Garrett, I'm gonna a little bit disagree with you that this is the worst thing ever. I have had worse. And if this is all I had to smoke, I'd probably be just fine with it. Yeah, I don't know. Trying to figure out right now if it's a little bit more on the like or don't like side of the scale. Because for me, it's maybe ever so slightly on the like side. Because generally, I like a good Virginia blend, and I like a little bit of black Cavendish. So yeah, it's definitely not going to be the first one I'm going to reach for. Definitely not in the top 10. Probably not in the top half of the blends that I've tried. And I've tried, I don't know, many dozens of blends. Yeah. Well, we're running a little long again, about triple as long as I'd like to. But just realized, like I say, right before I started recording that it's Tuesday. I got to do my Codger and a corn cob and tool time Tuesday. So with that, I'll let you all go. Thanks for watching. This is Joshua Stewart smoking a pipe up north in the woods. Have a good day. Oh, missed the button.